The majority of you said you want a whole man in your life who can provide, keep, and protect, right? So here's the question. How can you have one when you get up every day trying to be the best man you can be? No.
Did y'all? No, y'all didn't hear that. I know you didn't catch that. I'm running that back.
The majority of you said you want a whole man in your life who can provide, keep, and protect, right? So here's the question. How can you have one when you get up every day trying to be the best man you can be?
Lord. It's early. And we're already here. It's real early. We're talking 11 seconds in. Okay. Did this man lie? How many of our quote unquote modern women, our feminists, our liberals, are so busy trying to be a man that they can't actually create space in their life for one? How can you make space for something that's already occupied? Let's let this man continue to cook.
No.
I hope y'all are ready to call me or pick me in the comments, but I'm finna speak from a perspective that's gonna help y'all out here. Because this is the problem that I have. Stop hearing from your emotional ears and actually hear what's being said. I understand that the word choice was probably poor, but what he is saying is there are certain...
No, sis. What he said was exactly what he said. Those were the exact words necessary to get that point across. Now I can tell she's about to go in, and the ladies in the audience are likely not expecting this. And every time I see this panel right here, there's some truth being spoken, but damn.
Characteristics, certain behaviors that a woman may display. We just had a woman that was just talking about being alpha. Let me hit that first. Stop telling people that you alpha, because I don't think y'all understand what that personality actually really is and what it comes with. Alpha is not you just being strong. You're being resistant. You're not collaborative when it comes to conflict.
Oh, Lord. Fried eggs and a ham. Cook. Yeah, I gotta get into the nitty gritty and the weeds of this one so far. I can't just let this one pass by. Absolutely not. Oh man, ladies, y'all have been fooled. Y'all have been tricked. Y'all have been bamboozled to believe that you are going to find joy in crunching numbers. You were told that becoming this said boss chick, competing with a man in masculinity, because I believe that true feminism, or at least what it was sold as, is supposed to be focused on celebrating the feminine. But instead, what it has been lived as or represented as in the real world, feminism is anti-feminine. It is actually pro-masculine. It's just pro-masculine for women. Hey, women, be like the man. Not only be like the man, to hell with that. Be better than the man at being a man, and then you will be fulfilled. Oh, you see that man out there running them streets, dogging them out? You need to be the same dog. Now, it's ironic because, they love to talk about this toxic masculinity, but then you mimic the toxic aspects, or what you believe to be the most toxic aspects of the masculine, right? Why is it never the righteous man who is mimicked? Why is that? Why is it not the characteristics and the qualities of a righteous man that are mimicked, but instead the most baseline? Well, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get the bag. I'm going to get rich by any means necessary and stomp on anybody I need to get to the back. That's what feminism has sold y'all as happiness. They told you to spread them wide and often in order for you to feel satisfied, fulfilled, to be a somebody. Ain't that what they've been teaching young boys for how long now? For you to be a man, you got to bust as many backs, crack, back, boop, back. You got to hit them and split them. You got to lay up, play up, stay up, with as many chicks as humanly possible. That's what they told us was manhood. And that was a broken model. And now you take the same model and you call that empowerment. It's a broken system. I'm telling y'all, you've been fooled. You've been sold a damn ruse, but let us continue.
Have low perspective taking. So when we have conversations like this, if we want to actually stop the damn gender war, and excuse me if I get passionate, we have to be able to hear both sides right now. If there is a woman, because I deal with couples all the time and I see this, and this is a big problem, and this is why men don't speak on it because they can't be heard on this. If you have a woman who is in a male-dominated field and she has to use most of her masculine traits, sometimes it is hard to turn it off at home. Even if she's not in a relationship, even in her own home, sometimes it's hard to turn it off. I deal with lawyers, I deal with women who are in analytical spaces all the time. And because their brains are still going, when they even get in their own space, they don't get to actually resonate in their feminine energy, as we always talk about. They don't get to pull up their feminine traits because they're constantly having to go. They're not practicing mind.
I have to throw this in there. It doesn't just start at the job. It didn't start at the age of 22, 23 after graduating with your low degree, whatever. It didn't start there. It started in the homes where the women are raising their daughters with the mentality, unfortunately, many of which by themselves, and we can get into that discussion later on, but I would like to point you to 1965 and the quote unquote Great Society and Lyndon Baines Johnson and what that did to the black nuclear family. Disintegrating and breaking apart that nuclear until there was a nuclear explosion, but that's a bar for next time. In the household where the mother is wearing the armor, she's putting on the garb of a man. I'm not talking about the physical. We're talking about the metaphysical, the unseen. We're talking about the emotional, mental, spiritual. She is putting on what she thinks it is to be a man. And I understand that that comes from a place of fear. It comes from a place of trying to create stability. It comes from the fact that the man has been pushed out and therefore the woman is compensating. But it's still a choice. You know, one of the best terms I've heard or phrases, quotes, is your trauma will explain why, but it doesn't explain it away. So the trauma, you might say this behavior came from these traumas. And I can look at you and say, you know what? I can see that. But it doesn't explain the behavior away. If I show up and I'm being a complete asshole to you, just all the way out of pocket, and I tell you, you know what? That's my trauma acting up. I'm sorry. You have every right to say, you know what? Okay, I get that, but to hell with it. I'm not going to deal with you. It's not an excuse away from the behavior. So there has to be a correction. But unfortunately, y'all have been programmed into, and I need to stop saying y'all have been because that makes this victim mentality like you can't do nothing. There's a pride. And even in men, when a man has pride or when a adult male has pride, it destroys him. Pride comes before the fall for a reason. Pride destroys. That's what it does. That is the nature of pride. So when you are proud, you cannot learn, you cannot accept new information. You do not allow yourself to go from this level to the next level to evolve. You can't listen to no damn body. So when somebody's trying to tell you, hey, this is how this would work better for you. Hey, if you just did this different, you ain't gonna tell me nothing. Ready to snap, ready to pop off. And then you're mad you're getting the same results, if not worse results, when it was your job because you're grown, like it's my job because I'm grown, to handle my business, to make sure that I'm healing, to make sure that I'm changing behaviors. I am shifting my habits. I want to be married. I got to be husband. I want to be married. You got to be wife. These are characteristics that you develop, qualities that you develop. Oh, but if man just showed up in this way, and even if she just showed up in this way, I would step into my masculine, brother. If you need a woman in order for you to move through this life in your masculine, you have got it backwards. And women, vice versa. Oh, he needs to be in his masculine before I'm in my feminine. No, that's not how it works. You don't get the muscle and then you lift the weights. Let me say that one more again for the ones in the back of the back. Because I came here, I'm preaching today. You do not get the muscle first and then lift the weights. You must lift the weights in order to get the muscle. Input, output. You become wife and you get husband or marriage. You become husband and you get wife. Build the characteristics, the attributes. And anybody can have a ring on their damn finger. Anybody can have a damn baby. A gorilla can have a baby. A damn chimpanzee can have a baby. But can you be a father? Can you be a mother? Can you have the emotional resilience, the emotional capacity, the emotional intelligence to raise a child? That's developed intrinsically. But yeah, let me let her. Man, look, y'all got me going today. All the way.
And stuff like that. So when they do get into a relationship, it becomes something that is so ingrained. It becomes a default mode that they go in. And if you don't understand default modes and default strategies, you won't understand this conversation. There are some women who do go into these defaults and it automatically turns on. It's not on purpose. A lot of it is unconscious. Yes, I may say to myself, I want a man who can allow me to be feminine and provide this space. But if I am always in default mode, even if this man comes, I may still resist him. If I'm constantly having to be in my masculine in work and stuff like that in home, and I haven't learned how to turn it off, he's going to face the masculine side of me. Let's be real about this. Let me add my last piece. If y'all actually
and I don't know what the next girl's gonna say, but look, just look at the attire. That's all I'm gonna say for right now. Just look at the attire. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let me add my last piece. If y'all actually want, because I come from a very healthy side, so y'all please excuse me. If you actually want to see, we always talk about helping the Black community. If you are wanting to actually see us grow and stop this damn gender war, be able to listen and stop being so emotional. Turn off the fact that you're hearing certain words and just listen for a second. We hear women use certain word choices. We don't check them.
No.
Stop listening with your emotional ears. Pride. There's a celebration of Pride now, right? Don't they have a whole month where they celebrate Pride? That's interesting. We've gone from a place where we realized that Pride was a detrimental, it was a sin in essence, and now it's celebrated. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. But yeah, in conclusion, you can continue living in the way that you want to live. You can continue living your pride. You can. It's actually an option. It's always on the table for you. But don't expect to get different results than you're currently getting if you're not willing to change your behaviors. That's in everything. In everything. The reason why y'all see me going up now in my YouTube and my TikTok, whatever content creation, because I'm fully given over and I started doing the things necessary to get over my pride. My pride before, I would say, I already know that. I already know that. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I already know. And the reason it's not working is because of something out there, as opposed to looking at myself and what am I doing or not doing that could get me to the place that I want to be in life. That's what changed. Why is it that I'm now in a beautiful relationship with a beautiful woman inside and out? It's because I said, you know what? I have to be able to be in relationship, not just willing. I'm willing to. Yeah, you're willing. But are you able to? Because enough is enough with all this my trauma nonsense if you're not going to go anywhere with it. If you're not going to overcome it. Somebody once said, it is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. That's a bar. It may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. You got to take care of it. You got to handle it. It's not another grown person's, oh, well, you don't know what happened to me. My mama. Okay, I understand it. I may empathize. I may sympathize. But it doesn't change the behavior. And a lot of y'all need to stop dealing with people's potential. That's going to be a story for another time, but I'm going to give you just a little side note, $1 million worth of game. Stop being in love with somebody's potential. Oh, man, I bet they could be this, bet they could be that. No. What are they right now? And are you willing to invest into what you see at this moment, not its potential? I do that in the market. I look at the stock market. I say, what was the S&P 500 100 years ago? What is it today? Am I willing to invest in this thing? Yeah, look at the track record. Look at what it is, what it's presenting itself as. Now, it may go up 50% one day, 30%, but I know that it is steady on that 7 to 9%, and I'm comfortable with that. But we're going to get into that another time. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Till the next time, peace. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.